friends. Welcome to another edition of the Black Knitter Knitting Podcast. I'm Liz, the Black Knitter, and I am really happy that you found me. If this is your first time, welcome. I hope you will come back. And if you've been here before and you've come back for more, if you've subscribed, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done that before, so that we can spread the word about Black and Brown makers. That's what the purpose of this podcast is. I'm not a business. I'm not in this to make money. I just want to make it easier for those who are interested in supporting Black and Brown makers to do so. So welcome. So what we're going to do is talk about Kuumba or creativity first. Those are whips and FOs, although I don't have any FOs right now. And then we're going to talk about, I'm so excited, I'm going to do a Black History Month make along, whoop, whoop. Because Black History Month starts in just a couple days here, so I am excited. So we'll talk about that in our Ujamaa section, which is cooperative economics. Okay, so let's jump into whips. The first one I'll talk about is my single malt sweater that I am making for my husband. I'm making good progress on this. I have split for the sleeves, so those are on just some waist yarn now. This has come out really nicely. It's a pattern by Maxim. Pretty popular on the Instagrams. And I am using City Tweed in the color Cobalt, which my husband picked out. So making good progress on that. The next thing that I'm working on currently is the Birthright Shawl. And I am keeping this in one of my yarn and whiskey project bags. She uses African fabrics, which I really, really love. The Birthright Shawl pattern was part of a club that Lady Dye Yarns had available last summer for Juneteenth. It came with a project bag that says Juneteenth on the front with a black power fist. And I'm using some of the yarn from my Kwanzaa box from Passion Knits yarn. So this is one of the Kwanzaa colors, and I'll link her below. And the second color here is a color from Willy Nilly Knits, who is another independent Black dyer. And I just moved this stitch marker up, but I think in the last episode I was about here. So I made some pretty good progress on this. Got my needles all kind of twisted up here. So that's coming along nicely. And again, I will link the pattern and the dyers below, and also this wonderful bag maker. Another whip that I have, now last time I said my tolerance for whips is like 4 projects, and now I have 3. I kind of actually have 4 because I have a shawl that I keep on my desk at work to work on at lunchtime. I try not to work through my lunch when I'm at work. So I don't really count that one. So I've got 3. I want to do a cast on for this Black History Month make along. So I want to get something off of the needles before I do that. And I'm almost done with this thing that I started right after the last episode, because this is what had happened, y'all. My local yarn shop, Harps and Thistles, posted a picture of one of my knitting classmates who did a Nightshift shawl by Andrea Mowry. And it came out really, really nicely. So I looked at the pattern because I was, I've said before, I love shawls. I love to wear them. And I just started making them with regularity. And this is a worsted weight shawl, so it knits up really quickly. That's one of the reasons why I decided to go ahead and start it. And I had some yarn that I won in a drawing at my local yarn shop that had 5 small skeins. They were 100 yards each. So 5 colors, 100 yards each, worsted weight. That I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with. And this was actually the perfect project for that because it uses a lot of colors. So the colors here, again, this is just for my stash. It's 100% superwash merino. And the yarn is called Studio Worsted. It didn't have the bag that I won didn't have ball bands in it, so I don't have those. So I'm using those yarns and one other. The other yarn that I am using is Knitty Bow Fiber Co. There's the ball band. This is the husband of the lefty knitter, Aquila. She has a podcast. It's really good. It's vlog style. I really like it because she's left-handed like me. She actually knits left-handed. I learned how to knit right-handed, but I'm left-handed. I follow their podcast, and he has been dyeing for quite some time, small batches of colorways. And so I am using, for the final color in this, his dopamine colorway. I hope he dyes some more because it's really nice. So this color here is dopamine. And then these other colors, for the most part, let me just show you all of them first. It's a lot. So there's greens and purples, mostly different shades of greens and purples. I also used, for this first section, I had some Malabrigo DK left over from a sweater project. I also had some mohair left over, so I held that DK Malabrigo with the mohair for this first section, so it's a little fuzzy, which I love. I'm also using one of my Progress Keepers from the Passion Knits Yarn Kwanzaa box. It's a record player. Some of y'all young folks don't know what that is. Record player. Because her Kwanzaa box was based on music from the 60s and 70s. So that's what I'm working on now. I will have this finished today, I hope. Because I just finished section 8. There's only 10 sections. And again, it knits up really fast. Love it because it's nice and squishy. It's going to be really warm. And I need it because it's cold here, y'all. Really, really cold. All right, so those are my whips. That's my Kuumba activity for this podcast episode. All right, Um, Cooperative economics, Ujamaa. I wanted to show you some purchases and again to talk about the Black History Month Make Along. Last time I mentioned that I love Lola Bean Yarn Co. t-shirts. I'm wearing one of the ones that I received that I talked about in the last episode. Love them. It's her daughter holding up a Black Power fist. Love it. So that's one of my purchases. I also purchased, this is from Madeline. I purchased this from the Malintosh website. I'm on their newsletter list. Love their GG color. So I've ordered that a couple of times. But I ordered Lantern Moon interchangeable needles. And what I love about this particular brand is that these needles are created by women. So it gives them some economic freedom for making cases and needles. So this is the 5-inch Legacy sets. I'll show you the label here. And these are really beautiful needles and a beautiful case. So this is the case. You have cables up here, and this is a space for the needle tips. And then over here, you have a pocket for tools and stitch markers and things. Even got some stoppers, which are really nice. These are wood. I really prefer wooden needles. A lot of people don't like to knit with wood. These are the stitch markers that came with it. But I really do prefer wood. I think it's a little more forgiving on my hands. The cables are those steel cables, kind of like the Chalgu cables. You get 4 cables. 2 are swivel cables. So it says right there, swivel cables. And then 2 are just regular cables. And y'all, look at these beautiful tips. They're really, really nice and smooth. So I am looking forward to knitting with these. I'm gonna cast on my Black History Month Make-Along project with these. And again, Lantern Moon is fair trade, giving the women that work there and create these beautiful items some economic freedom and a way to support their families. Okay, so let's talk about this Black History Month Make-Along. So I really want to use this month where we are remembering and recognizing the contributions of Black people to our history of the United States, to really get people thinking about and looking at some Black designers and makers and dyers. So we're going to do a Black History Month make-along. It's really simple. It's going to start February 1st. Whips are allowed, so if you've already started something by a Black designer or using yarn from a Black dyer, it's totally okay. But we're going to have, I've set up threads on Ravelry so that you can post, if Ravelry is accessible to you, so that you can post names and links for Black designers, makers, and dyers. Excuse me. And there's also a thread to post FOs. At the end of the month, I'll close the thread and draw a winner for a prize. Not sure what the prize will be yet. As we go along, I will let you know as we get closer to the day. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. Really excited. So start looking, find your patterns, find your yarn, and I've already posted a couple of links in the thread on Ravelry for those of you who need some ideas. You can also check the show notes on each of my episodes because I always link to the folks that I talk about in these episodes. Okay, so I am really excited to cast on for the Black History Make-Along a pattern by Fatima Hines, who is Disturbing the Fleece on Instagram. Really, really great designer. I've purchased a couple of patterns. She just came out with a hat pattern that she did in collaboration with Serendipitous Yarn Company. I also have a pattern of hers that I've talked about before, Weak Moral Fiber. And that is what I'm going to cast on for this make along. I'll put a picture up here of the pattern. So one thing I forgot to say is that for this make along, you get an entry for the prize drawing for every finished object that you do that either has a pattern that's written by a Black designer or made with yarn from a Black dyer. If you do both, if you have a pattern by a Black designer that's knit or crocheted with yarn from a Black dyer, that will get you 2 entries into the prize drawing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do Fatima's pattern for Weak Moral Fiber. It's a shawl pattern. And I am using yarn from 3 Black dyers because it takes 3 colors. So the main color is going to be from Willy Nilly Knits. Love this color. This is called Glow in the Dark. It's 80/20 merino silk. It feels really great. Love all of the colors. This is going to be great for that shawl pattern. Willy Nilly Knits, the only way you can get his items for sale, because he sells knitted items and yarn, is through Instagram. So he will be linked below. Follow him on Instagram and he lets you know when he has items available, and you just message him directly and he will get you what you want. So I have a lot of his yarn. Love it. Excited to use this. My second color is some leftover from my from my shawlography project. Kinship is on my list of shawls to make. This is, I can't remember the colorway off the top of my head. I'll try to remember to link it below. But this is from Chicken Coop Dye Works. Love her colors, very vibrant. And then the yellow this is another color that I used in my shawlography project. This is a color that was from Passion Knits Yarn. So great color. Can't remember the name, but she will be linked below. So these are my colors for weak moral fiber. Let me flip it this way so you can see all the colors. I think those will go very well together. Can't wait. So I'll be casting that on probably, well, I'm going to wait until the 1st. Today's the 31st. So tomorrow I'll cast it on. Excited about that. So I hope you are as excited as I am. I'm also excited for Disturbing the Fleece. Fatima is going to be releasing a new sweater cardigan pattern today. I've been checking on Instagram because I want to get it when it comes out. So that's going to be my next sweater cast on. It's called Walfla. Can't wait. I'm just waiting to get that and then figure out all of my yarn. That's probably going to be a big purchase. I think it requires quite a bit of yardage. So next episode I'll talk about that. Hopefully, I've also ordered a club from Lady Di. It is a club that's based on The Fifth Element, which is a movie. It's a great movie. Me and my family love to watch it. It's one of our favorites. So if you haven't seen it, take a look. So hopefully those are a couple of things that I'll be talking about in the next episode. But thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.